Oh, Roachy. Wow. This how you gonna do it, Roachy? Cooked. William Zepeda cooks the man. Lamont Roach. And in this video, I'm gonna break it down and give you guys the good, the bad, and the ugly. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, I just watched pretty good fight. There were no knockdowns. Spoiler alert, which you should know if you're checking on my post-fight video. William Zepeda and Lamont Roach for the WBC title at lightweight. And I'm here to let you know Lamont Roach got cooked. I will break it down, but he got cooked. At the end of the fight, his face, you could see his eye was starting to go away, a lot of reddening. Congratulations to William Zepeda. That's what you do. Brilliant performance. I believe his last fight was Shakur Stevenson, where he obviously lost to Shakur Stevenson, and that's how you bounce back. So bravo to him and Golden Boy. Card itself was not good to me, but I didn't mind the main event, and I'm going to let you know the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now, I try to tell you guys, right, and me and my man Jesse Carl, who you'll see in the comment section, right, we had this conversation, and he told me straight up, I'm picking Lamont Roach to lose. I think William Zepeda got him. And I'm like, yeah, I definitely see that, especially with the tempo and the pace for William Zepeda. And the good is, I'm going to get the good out of here real quick. The good is William Zepeda, you know, he goes on and now he's a champion. He says he wants to be undisputed. And you could tell it was a big moment for him because he was like almost in tears. I don't know if he actually cried, but almost in tears. And that's what boxing is about. You know what I mean? Guy from Mexico come to America, realize the American dream, and something you work so hard for and put years in, and then you finally get to covet it. You're from Mexico and you get the green belt, which originates in Mexico. So big moment for him. I'm happy for him. And it was a hell of a bounce back type of performance. He said he needed the time off, took a lot of time off after the Shakur loss, enjoyed probably his family and his money, and came back with a dangerous fight with Lamont Roach, right? Now, straight away, and I put this on my social media, if you guys follow me there, I said, William Zepeda looking kind of big. The first thing that I noticed. So I was like, man, it's going to be a hard fight for Lamont Roach. And I literally do the round by round. The zone commentary is trash. I still believe that. Now they got this TNT thing with Crawford and Sean Porter and Tim Bradley. Even they were saying some kind of weird stuff at the beginning before the fight. Terrence Crawford said that William Zepeda stylistically reminds him of Joe Calzaghe. And I'm like, what on earth are you talking about? Right? I don't really see. He's like, oh, because Calzaghe just throw a lot of punches and Zepeda. I don't get that comparison at all. I thought he was going to say Julio Cesar Chavez, you know, senior or something. The man Crawford really said Calzaghe. So commentary was buns. And the bad and the ugly is for Lamont Roach. I couldn't wait to hit record and get on this microphone. As far as the fight, I don't know if it's going to be a traditional breakdown of every round, because what I noticed is William Zepeda pretty much just cooked him throughout large portions of the fight, right? First round, you could give it to Lamont Roach, but it was kind of a fill-out round. So I wouldn't be surprised if there were some people who had it for Zepeda. So Roach round because it wasn't too much going on, right? Round 2, things started to heat up. It was a better round for Zepeda, in my opinion. He picked up the pace. He was taking his time, coming off the Shakur loss and whatnot. It looked like he was trying some new things to box a little bit more. And I was always waiting for that switch because fighters kind of revert, especially if they get hit hard. They're going to revert to true form and who you really are. You know what I mean? All that stuff you learn in the camp for 6-8 weeks can go out the window and when you get in a shootout, right? Roach was still doing good at this point, round 2. Strong right hand, pot shotting, but more singles, maybe a 1-2. So singles and doubles. Whereas Zepeda, he was keeping them at bay. Zepeda was constantly having to reset, things like that. As the fight progressed, rounds 3, very good round for William Zepeda. And I kept saying this. Roach was giving up way too many body shots by round 3, right? That's where I really started to know Zepeda was getting off with that body shot. And I was like, yeah, it's going to be a long night. Zepeda is beating up that belly button. So I gave round 3 to William Zepeda. And when I tell you my commentary be so on point, you got to believe me. So this is in round 3. I said Lamont Roach getting bullied in the clinch. Now, this was one of the major stories of the fight. He was letting William Zepeda shoulder shrug, shoulder lean, nudge him, push him, muscle him back. And then, fair play, William Zepeda would also work in the middle of that. So he's pushing you back, nudging you, roughhousing, mushing you, mosh pitting you, right? And you would see a weak clinch. This new generation got a weak clinch game. A lot of them. They don't clinch like Floyd Mayweather or Klitschko or the past generation. So that was a huge problem. And now we're starting to really delve into where Lamont Roach started to lose the fight. So I'm like, damn, you letting Zepeda muscle you around. He already looked physically bigger, wider back and stuff like that. He was cooking you with the body shots, and in the clinch, you can't really contain or control him, and like you got to murph somebody up. Like, I'm like, just hem him up. Like, you know what I mean? Like where they can't move. And he was getting like bulldozed. Now, maybe it's because Roach came from lighter weight classes, right? And then moved up to divisions, because people remember when he was about to fight Tank at 35, they were like, oh my gosh, Tank's bringing up a guy from 130, right? So maybe that was it. I don't know. I don't know what the reason is, but even if that is the case, if you're from a lighter division, you got to work on your core. You got to work on your strength. You got to work on your legs so people can't muscle you around. Floyd Mayweather was not bigger than many people he fought as Money Mayweather. Pacquiao is probably like the only person he was bigger than. I don't even want to say Ricky Hatton, rest in peace, because Ricky Hatton, they used to call him Ricky Fatten. He would in his offseason, he would get up to like 190 and stuff. So Pacquiao for real was like probably the only smaller person. Floyd, again, different generation, different teaching, different skill, different training, right? He didn't let nobody muscle him around. Remember when Shane Mosley clipped him twice in round 2? Floyd bop and was fighting back. Lamont Roach was getting bullied in close quarters. And this, I'll be real, this was the best that I've ever seen William Zepeda. So maybe the rest was needed. He needed the time off, and he came back rejuvenated, focused. I've watched his fights, both fights with Tevin Farmer. He got dropped in the first fight. You can argue Tevin Farmer won the first fight. You can argue even that Tevin Farmer might have edged out the second fight. Shakur fight, fun little fight. He did pretty cool, but this by far was the best that I could recall seeing him. And I'm not talking about Jojo Diaz and them other fights where I'm going off of the caliber of opponent and how you looked. I don't care if you were in Mexico, you were in Mexico, and you knocked out, you know, El Tortilla or whatever. I'm talking about per capita, per level of opposition. This was the best I've seen him. Because he didn't have this much success with Shakur or Tevin Farmer. You know what I mean? So he came out guns blazing. Round 2 was fun, but the fight started around round 3, 4. Zepeda, his style is very burrowing, very nagging, almost like being at a cookout and there's bugs around your plate of food, mosquitoes and flies. That's how he fight. And you got to know how to deal with that style. Roach wasn't doing the necessary things to really check it and make him respect it and make him back up. So I thought Zepeda was getting off midway through the fight. It looked completely different than rounds 1 and 2. Roach, he had his elbows tucked, which showed me that he don't like the body shots. I literally tweet, if you go to my Twitter, early on in the fight, he don't like body shots. And I knew that from the Gervonta Davis fight, right? Zepeda was bullying his body, and I think if he kept it up, he could have possibly got a knockdown. The knockdown didn't come. Roach, in between, he was landing some nice counters, but overall, Zepeda was just busier. And Zepeda's style, when you're not in control, as was the case with Roach, then it just makes it more confusing for the judges because it's busy in activity and volume, and it looks like he's like going for it, wants it more, and like trying, and then you got singles, maybe a double, maybe a 1-2 here, and you got some precision, but not enough to balance and tip the scales in your favor. So halfway mark, I seen the fight was getting away from Roach. Just wasn't working enough. Right? And the crazy thing to me was the fact that Zepeda had 0 jab. The jab, he was just coming in. Pause. So it goes to show you Lamont Roach's skill set is not as tough as he thought it was, because you were getting out-volumed with kind of a one-dimensional style and a guy who really wasn't. I think Zepeda used his jab better with Shakur. If I'm not mistaken, off memory, because I do this, Shakur got hit with a jab, and that's where he kind of fell into the ropes. It looked like a fly trapped in the spider web, right? So that William Zepeda jab, I ain't really even see him use it, which he could have really set up the body shots, the hooks, and the combos had he used a better jab. So that was one constructive criticism for Zepeda, but ultimately I can't harp on it because he was clearly winning. And despite the absence of a major jab from Zepeda and also Roach, right? Because the type of style that Zepeda has outside of the right hand, because he's a southpaw, the number one thing you should be using is a jab. So it really put into perspective that, in my opinion, Roach was feeling himself too much after the Gervonta Tank fight, the Tank Davis fight. And we'll get into that. Round 7, Zepeda clipped Roach. He started to retreat. I feel he got buzzed in that moment. Zepeda was on his ass like Wranglers. This is just what it is. And it got worse in the second half of the fight. So I thought Zepeda was overall cooking Roach. The body language of Roach just was not looking good. And I think this is a big pickup that I put during the fight. I said the problem with many of these new Gen Z fighters, boxers, they are too emotional. No poker face. When Lamont Roach was getting hit with big shots, hurt with good shots, he kept sticking his tongue out, beating his chest like he Deontay Wilder. He was banging his gloves like he Manny Pacquiao. It's up to my promoter. Right? He was shaking his head. He was like shaking his head up, shaking it no, etc. To me, the school of boxing that I watch, that's far too much signaling. You doing too much. Because Doing all that, I believe in psychology and I believe in body language, and doing all that signaling, that virtue signaling is pretty much showing them that, hey, this is having an effect on me. So I don't like fighters that be doing all that, shaking their head no and like too much. And I think Floyd does it, but Floyd's Floyd, and these dudes ain't Floyd. He does the nope, nope, and a lot of people try to bite that, but he was signaling too much, sticking his tongue out and all that. And he did it in the Tank fight too. You know what I mean? But he's doing it at points where Tank was getting off. Doing it at points where Zepeda's getting off, so we already know what time it is. So you're just, to me, I don't know what the judges think, but I don't like that for scoring, because Zepeda just working and you doing all this, like, I kind of liken it to showboating. Now, some of my favorite fighters, Roy Jones Jr., Muhammad Ali, Floyd, Muhammad Ali, Prince Nassim, all these guys were showboaters. I don't have a problem with that, but I don't like showboating when you're not in control of the fight, right? And that's the problem. I would put that virtue signaling kind of in the showboat category. Like, you're trying to show that it didn't hurt you. Jerron Boots Ennis be doing this too, and I'm a big Boots fan. But I don't like that. Like, be in control of the fight first, right? So I felt in the latter 3 rounds, the championship rounds or whatnot, Roach did come a bit more game, stand his ground a little bit more, but it was too far too late, right? Too far too little. You in the last round 9, 10, and then even in that, like round 12, he got hit with a big shot by Zepeda. So there's just no way he won the fight. No way. Now, I want to talk about the ugly. The ugly is Lamont Roach got too big for his britches. That's what I truly believe. After the Tank robbery, right, the Tank draw, he let the fans gas him up into believing that he was like, I took down, even though he didn't beat Tank and it was a draw. I told you guys on my channel, Gervonta Davis actually should have won the fight, not even a draw. Gervonta, if you go back, because there was nothing crispy or crazy from Roach until that whole knee scenario, and that kind of woke his game up, and then the fight started to heat up. Before that, it was Tank was winning the early first half of the fight pretty cleanly, but people let that one freak show moment, hair grease, taking a knee, and then they overplayed it, and then they try to make the fight seem like, oh, it was a gross robbery and Tank really lost, because they don't like Gervonta Davis. And since that point, in my opinion, Lamont Roach has been consumed with this ideology that he's the nicest, and he really won the Tank fight, and even the Pitbull Cruz fight. He had a draw in that fight too. So back-to-back draws. And then he was like, I really won the Pitbull Cruz fight, right? And when am I going to get a fair shake? So I'm not going to say Lamont Roach is done, but back to Pro Box TV you probably go, because you tried it. You try to rise and make this huge name for yourself, only to irritate many of the fans after the Gervonta Davis. Because there was a period of time where he just kept talking about Tank, acting like Tank was scared, and he was trying to not press charges, but kind of snitch and go to the commission like, we need this reversed and instant replay. And I'm like, what are you even doing, bro? And I told you then, like I'm telling you now, they are not going to reverse the outcome of that fight. Again, I was right, just like I'm right here in the Zepeda fight. Told y'all Zepeda was going to win, for those who ask on social media. And I do think Lamont Roach is a good fighter, but he's a smart, dumb fighter. and I'm not trying to take jabs like that, but I'm being honest with you. He a smart, dumb fighter. Smart in the way that he has skills. He has heart. He has skills. Not a problem, right? But dumb in the sense of having those skills and you making it the wrong fight. So that's what I noticed in the Zepeda fight. And I said it early on. Go check the records, check the scoreboard. Look right here, 9 p.m. Fight had just started. I said Lamont Roach's temperament could get him in trouble because he likes to rumble. But with cardio volume guy like Zepeda, you don't give them what they want when you are the better skilled boxer. You box the brawler and brawl the boxer. This man is a whole fool because he was early in the fight. He was doing what he did in the Tank fight after the knee thing. He was doing what he did in the Pitbull Cruz fight. He was feeling himself, and he was in the pocket with William Zepeda, who is from the mountainous area of Mexico, right? Has known to throw 1,000,000 punches per round and is known to train in the altitude, and he getting chased by donkeys, bulls, horses, chickens, and whatever else he said, right? And you out here fighting his style of fight. This new generation of boxing, by and large, chopped. They are so chopped, bro. The trainers from yesteryear, they're gone. We ain't had the Roger Mayweathers and Floyd Seniors and the Customados and stuff, right? The Emmanuel Stewarts. These new trainers, they just allowing whatever. This man has skills. He has heart. But I believe, and I call it falling in love with your own legend, which I've been around making online content longer than Lamont Roach has been a pro fighter, right? And one thing that has kept me here, and you could, this guy doesn't know what he's talking, whatever. Here's a little Jimmy Jim. The thing that has kept me here is no matter how good I think I am, there's always more to learn, right? So I never fall in love with my own legend. People hate on my channel, but I also have immense support, crazy paychecks, crazy donations. You guys are blowing up my Cash App the other day, right? To the point where Cash App was like thinking it was fraud because so many people, right? But I don't care about money. I care about my brand. I care about my name. Yes, money is a tool. It helps me build the channel. I reinvested back in the channel. So shout out to the people for the super chats and the Zelles and Cash Apps and stuff. But I never fall in love with my own legend. I know there's always more work to do. This man, after that Tank fight, he was like, oh man, I'm the best. And he was talking about fighting Floyd Mayweather. I got it in my phone. He literally called out Floyd Mayweather. You can't even beat William Zepeda. How you gonna beat Floyd? You're like, man, I don't want to fight. Floyd said you should fight somebody of his, and you're like, nah, I don't want that. I want to fight you. Bro, is this guy insane? This man, Roach, I try to tell you about him. He lost his perspective or whatever happened after that Tank fight. Here it is. Floyd was trying to line him up with Carmel Moulton, right? He said, laughing emoji, come on now, Floyd Mayweather, set it up with me and you. We can run it. Let's see what you got left in the gas tank. That was August of last year. This man is absolutely absurd. You absolutely deserve to lose to William Zepeda. You got outworked, and now the fall from grace is going to be immense. You try snitching to the commission. That's a fact. After the Tank, you instead of just going back to the basics and whatnot, instead of, just humbling yourself down, he was doing too much, right? He was trying to stream. He was watching the Tank fight. Remember, he was turning down the fade with Lamont Roach. Lamont Roach was turning down the fade with Carmel Moulton. Look, Floyd said, let's make the fight happen. Carmel Moulton is ready. Roach, let's do it. Even if I had to put the money up. Carmel Moulton was like, yeah, Flames, let's go. Let's get to it, right? Again, Roach was posted this. He put a flyer of Roach and Mayweather. So this man lost the plot. He started feeling himself after that Tank fight. He became a live streamer. Remember that? He was like live streaming. He's like, yeah, chat. Hey, chat. I'm going to go live chat. And now you're a more skilled fighter, in my opinion, than William Zepeda, but you got dog walked, face looking all swole up, right? And now this is the ugly part for Lamont Roach. We all watched you get cooked, and I'm here to tell you how this works. Your style is unappealing to most people. William Zepeda, he liked that type of stuff. Like he fought Shakur and he fought Tevin Farmer, so he's proven that he ain't afraid of that. He ain't afraid to rumble with that. But your style is not like a desirable style that a lot of the promoters will probably want because you maybe can play spoiler or give people a tougher fight. You got a pretty good chin and whatnot. So now you're probably back to pro boxing. You're probably not going to get the big calls. I'm just being real with you. So enjoy your live streaming. This was your opportunity. This was must-win territory because, again, in my opinion, after that performance, you gave promoters a reason to front you off, right? Because, like, why would I want my fighter to fight Lamont Roach when there's some level of risk? He don't have the biggest name. He comes to fight. You know what I mean? It's just, so I think he's out the rotation. Could be wrong. I don't know what his deal is with his promoter and all that, but I think he should have chilled out after the Tank fight. But he kept talking about Tank and even Shakur, man. Shakur, this new generation is chopped. I'll keep telling you, bro. Shakur is like, man, give me some respect because William Zepeda won. But you didn't even give William Zepeda respect before the fight. And you literally went on record saying that Lamont Roach was going to win. And you were cheerleading. You see how fake the game is right now? This man was literally cheerleading for Lamont Roach to win so they could fight. So he said he would fight Devin Haney. And then right after that, he said he's in Japan. And then after that, he was like, yeah, come on, Lamont Roach, let's get it. Saying Lamont Roach was going to win, right? And beat Zepeda. And then now he's trying to give Zepeda props because he beat him. Like, yeah, that's not what you said, bro. That's not what you said. You said Zepeda was going to lose to Lamont Roach. You said that you and Lamont Roach, see, this is what I'm talking about. This game is chopped, bro. They're chopped. These people, I'm really convinced. They talk about YouTubers and stuff. I'm truly convinced a lot of these new generations don't really know a lot of boxing history. You know what I mean? Shakur talking about Tyson Fury would have beat Muhammad Ali. He has a lot of bad takes in boxing. A lot, right? He was like, oh, Muhammad Ali would lose to Tyson Fury. Sugar Ray Leonard was buns, right? A lot of his predictions be way off, right? And again, I come with receipts. Look, I bet some good money on Lamont. All right, well, you just lost some good money. You think Lamont Roach could hurt Zepeda? In them 8 ounces, anybody could hurt anybody. So Shakur out here looking bad to me, and Keyshawn, and that whole little regime. They all clicked up. You know what I mean? They was at the Ray Ford fight. They all picked Ray Ford. He got cooked by O'Shaquie. You don't understand what I'm saying? This whole little run of boxers in that clicked up right there, they all looking bad. They're like, Ray Ford's going to get with O'Shaquie. Shakur sent Ray Ford and sicked him on O'Shaquie. O'Shaquie cooked him and threw him out the ring like Uncle Phil. And then now Shakur wants credit for Zepeda, right? He wants credit for Zepeda, but he was just saying that him and Lamont Roach are the number 1 and 2 people, and he want to run the fade with Lamont Roach. So you were way wrong. I'm not giving you credit for Zepeda. Zepeda, he went out there and did his thing. You know, props to him. But don't try to act like you trying to fan out now. Don't act like you was on Zepeda's side. You picked him to lose. Shakur said, F it, Lamont. Go to work so me and you can bang it out for the best 135 pounder on the planet. Well, he not in that conversation when he got cooked by your leftovers. And like he was getting hurt in there. His face looked like he been in a fight. I mean, even when they were reading the scorecards, he started clapping knowing he had lost. And he had his head down while Zepeda was like head up and he already knew he won, right? And this is what I'm telling you about a smart, dumb fighter. You're on a Golden Boy card. It's a Mexican belt, the green belt. It's a Mexican fighter. You wasn't going to win that fight fighting like you fought. But you want to be machismo, right? And be in the pocket because you think you did it with Tank. The only reason you did it with Tank is because Tank is short and Tank is more surgical and he's not throwing the volume. Now we see that you don't like the pressure. And Zepeda came to bring the pain. He could take a punch, and he never took a backward step, really. And then even though you tried around 9, 10, 11-ish, right around there, you started trying and going for broke out of pure desperation. Your own father, your trainer, he was like, you need a knockout, boy. You need a knockout to win. So I seen this coming a mile away. This was long overdue. Lamont Roach, in my opinion, he got too arrogant. He thought he was like, could fight Floyd and thought he whooped Pitbull and thought he whooped the boy Tank, Gervonta Davis. He was saying he was too good. He got bigger fish than Carmel Moulton. You about to be right back there on Pro Box TV. I can assure you. That's probably what's next. Because you had a draw with Tank, a draw with Pitbull, and now a flat out loss. That's almost like taking 3 L's. You got 3 L's like W. I'm getting a little tired of your broken promises. Like, the boxing world don't take kindly to that. This was must-win territory. You kept screaming, oh, man, I just want a fair shake, and they keep robbing me. Now you with your head down and face looking cut up and all that, right? And you don't have no one to blame but how you fought. You fought for the majority of the fight. Okay, you show some heart later, but you just didn't fight in the style. You're fighting his fight, which is what I said. So that is the harsh reality as I see it, and the ugly for Lamont Roach. The road back is just going to be very hard. You're not going to be able to talk. And it's not even just boxing talk. I was seeing Lamont Roach talk to fans on Twitter, and he was talking gangster, right? He was talking gangster. And I know people that know you. You was a valedictorian, bro. You know what I mean? But he was talking like tough, like street talk, like, yeah, I'll slap the out of you and I'll destroy you and stuff. So when you have these type of performances, it just becomes hard to get back in that aura bag that you felt you were in after the Tank fight. And that's what really happened. Let me know what you think. Subscribe.